If you're planning to move to London and will be getting a job, here are a few things that you should know about working here. Now, these tips are for people who aren't from the UK, so aren't familiar with the working culture here, and they're also for people who already have the right to work here, so I'm not going to be talking about how to get a visa or anything like that, and I can't help with that. Salaries are paid monthly. As an American, I'm pretty used to getting paid twice a month. Here they pay monthly, and it's typically at the end of the month, but it kind of depends. Back in my permanent job days, I had to learn how to budget a little bit better to make that one monthly payment stretch a little bit farther. Also, freelance work and hourly jobs and part-time jobs that can totally vary. You might not live close to where you work. Because of the prices of rent in London, it's very common for people to live in totally different areas from where they work, especially if they work in central London. It's really hard to be able to afford to actually live in central London. So you're gonna need to keep this in mind when you're planning where your job's gonna be and also where you're going to live. I do talk about this in a couple of my videos about where to live and how to find a place to live when you move to London. You can watch those by clicking the card popping up there. This video is sponsored by Job Today, an app that makes finding a job really simple and quick. All you do is create a simple profile with your name, your photo, your basic information, and a summary of your past experience. No need to upload a CV. There are thousands of job listings on the app, so when you're scrolling through and you see one that looks like it's good to you, you can go ahead and automatically click the apply button or open a chat with the employer to ask more questions about the role. Once you've applied for a role, you'll hear back within 24 hours whether they want to chat with you further or if it's just a no, and you can apply for other jobs. Job Today has jobs in sectors like retail, hospitality, and more. So download the free app and see what's available. Even if you haven't quite moved to London just yet, it can give you an idea of what's out there, what salaries are like. You can get the app by clicking the link down in the description of this video. You'll be on a contract no matter what type of job that you get. Again, this is a little different for me coming from the US, where part-time workers and hourly workers typically aren't on a contract that stipulates how much holiday time that you get off and things beyond really like this is what you get paid. But yeah, most jobs here you're going to end up signing a contract. You'll probably also have a notice period. And of course, if you're a freelancer, you definitely always want to have a contract in place that stipulates how much you're getting paid and all the usual freelancer stuff. Americans, here's one to blow your mind. It is the UK law for employers to give employees at minimum 20 days of holiday time or vacation time a year. This is so different from the US, obviously, which there's no minimum in the US, and on average, employers usually give around 10 days of holiday a year. And then if you're working part-time or like hourly, I don't even think they usually give holiday time at all. You just don't get paid if you take time off. If you're from another country besides the UK or the US, let me know in the comments what the holiday time is like in the country you're from. You'll work with a diverse group of people. Because London is so diverse, you're most likely gonna end up working with other employees and also customers that are from all around the world and might have varying accents, English abilities, and also just cultural differences. So if this is your first job in London, it would be worth mentioning any experience that you have in dealing with people that are different from you in the past while you're in your interview. Notice periods can be really long. By notice period, I mean the amount of time that you have to stay in your role after you submit your resignation. Now, this typically pertains more to roles that are office-based and like for salaried full-time permanent employees. Typically a notice period for lower level employees will be around 1 month, but then as you're mid-level, executive level, it can be like 6 months or even a year. In terms of part-time and salaried work, from asking around with my friends, it seems like it just completely depends on the company and what's in the contract that you've signed when you start working for them. You need an NI number to work. If you're not British, you need to apply for an NI number or a national insurance number when you get to London in order to be able to work and also do some other things like open a bank account and get a mobile phone. So as soon as you get to London, arrange for your appointment to get your NI number and as soon as you've applied for it, you can start working legally. There's a lot of talk around London about minimum wage versus living wage. Minimum wage is the national minimum that employers in the UK must pay their employees, which at the time of recording is £7.83 if you're 25 or older, £7.38 if you're 21 to 24 years old, and £5.90 if you're 18 to 20 years old. Then there's the real living wage, which is calculated by the Living Wage Foundation, which at the time of recording is £10.20 for London specifically. This is the number that represents how much somebody would realistically need to be earning in order to actually survive living in London. Unfortunately, the living wage is not enforced by law. It's only a suggestion at this point. Londoners work long hours-ish. I'm a New Yorker, and if I were working full-time right now back in New York, I would probably be averaging about 55 hours of work a week, including late nights and weekend work. It's just how it is when working in New York City. So comparatively speaking, I think actually working in London in, let's say, office full-time permanent positions, people here tend to have a better work-life balance. That being said, if we compare how much Londoners work to the rest of the UK and also the rest of Europe, it is a lot more than the average pretty much anywhere else. So depending on where you're from, you will probably notice a difference from what you're used to. This video is part of my Living in London series. There's lots of videos in which I talk about moving to London, living in London, working in London, my experience living here as an American. You can watch one of those videos by clicking the boxes that I have popped up here, and I will see you in the next video.